I'm going to spell out for you the disaster and how it looks like China is absolutely purposely trying to kill the world population and kill the world economy while at the same time saving its own. So yes, we know that China had its companies back in early December, before December 15th, before, mind you, had companies ship back medical supplies to China. That means they knew that this thing was coming in early December. Two, they're sending out faulty equipment to every country. Faulty equipment. Their masks do not have the proper filtration. Some of them are missing layers. And then they're sending out faulty test equipment as well. Now, let me tell you something. If I was a Chinese leader and I wanted to wipe out the world, here's what I would think when this thing broke out. I'd be like, you know what? Everybody is so enamored on our production that we can send them masks missing a few filters, and their healthcare workers will get them, and then their healthcare workers will get infected. And then we'll send them tests because their tests are supposed to be 80% sensitive. That's what the standard should be. But the tests that China is sending out are only 30% sensitive. So now they're allowing people who are infected to come out with tests that are saying they're not infected and thereby go infect other people. But yet, all that equipment in China is working just fine. Their tests are 80% sensitive. Their masks are just fine and aren't missing any layers. Their ventilators are just fine and aren't missing plugs and missing chipsets and missing internal hoses and things like that. Very, very, very suspicious timing if you ask me, but let's read this and we'll go into it. The Netherlands becomes the latest country to reject China-made coronavirus test kits and gear. The Netherlands is the latest country to reject China-made coronavirus test kits and other protective gear, calling the item substandard. Not only substandard from people that I have spoken to in the medical field, but straight defective. And raising serious questions about the quality of the supplies Beijing is selling to the world. And it should. It should raise many questions. It should raise many, 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 many questions like when is the reckoning for China going to happen after this is over, and how is it going to happen? The Netherlands joins Spain, Turkey, Georgia, and the Czech Republic in their concerns over masks and test kits. The claims come as the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases surge in the United States and Europe, highlighting the dependence many countries have on Chinese imports. Yay! Finally. Finally, maybe we are waking up to it. The Dutch Health Ministry said over the weekend that it was forced to recall 600,000 face masks that were shipped from China on March 21st after they found to be faulty. Some of the face masks failed to fit the mouth properly, where others were found to have insufficient filters, the government said. Insufficient filters. The filters don't even work. And this is the company that has been producing these and producing these by the hundreds of thousands every year for a very long time. The N95 masks, they've been producing those forever. And now they're sending faulty stuff out? I bet you their stuff is just fine. Healthcare workers have been informed and told not to use the masks due to the shortages. We can find ourselves in a situation where only protective equipment is available that does not meet the highest standards, the health ministry said in a statement. This is an issue in all countries. On Monday, the Netherlands said the number of people hospitalized with coronavirus hit nearly 4,000. Of those, 507 new patients were admitted to the hospital. The number of deaths rose by 93 to 864. Testing in the Netherlands is mostly confined to people with serious symptoms, meaning it's likely the numbers of cases are much higher, obviously. That's everywhere. That's everybody. We're all going through it. On March 19th, Bruno Bruins, the medical care minister leading the Dutch government's fight against the coronavirus, resigned after collapsing from exhaustion during a parliamentary debate on the pandemic a day earlier. Yet none of this has anything to do with the masks. Come on, let's get to the story. The nature of this crisis is such that it demands a minister who can be ready to go full throttle. Yes, I don't care. Let's get to the story at hand, please. Last week, Spanish Health Minister Salvador Illa said the country had bought $467 million in medical supplies from China, including 950 ventilators, 5.5 million testing kits, 11 million gloves, and more than 500 million protective face masks. Soon after receiving the supplies, the government announced plans to return 9,000 quick result test kits to China because they were deemed substandard. Specifically, the sensibility of the test was around 30%, when it should be higher than 80%. 30%. 30%. That's 50% lower than what it should do. Should be where it should be at. 50% lower than where it should be at. That's not an error. That just sounds purposely done. 50%? Really 50%? China creates the poison and sells out the solution to it, Foreign Affairs expert Gordon Chang told Fox News. Beijing admitted that the kits they sold to Spain were bought from BioEasy, a Chinese company not licensed to make them. China announced last week that it was launching an investigation into BioEasy. Yeah, is that like launching an investigation into the Khashoggi killings? Right? That kind of thing? Yes. We're going to investigate ourselves. Yes. The police department is going to investigate ourselves. Yes. Obviously, everybody's going to be found not guilty. Obviously, everything's going to be okay. Or they will say, well, it was all BioEasy's fault and not ours, and BioEasy, because they're under a authoritarian government, will bend over and hand them the Vaseline and spread cheek and smile. Anyways, it seems to me like it is all orchestrated and purposely done. Am I wrong in that thinking? Or am I right in that thinking? What do you think? To me, it looks like it is purpose. I love you guys. Stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.